It seems to me that there's a vital skill that society at large still needs to learn at a grand scale, and that's how to see through the distractions, right? I get it. This is easier said than done because we are constantly being bombarded with useless information after more useless information, distraction after distraction, false flag event after false flag event. And this is what garners everyone's attention. Where attention goes, energy goes. Why would mainstream media be covering this? Why would this be blasted all over your social media feed? Because they want you to be looking over here when you should be looking over here. Yes, it's very important that the information with the diddler came out, right? That's very important so we can stop believing in the lies, so we can stop praising these false idols, so we can stop saying, oh, I want to be like P. Diddy when I grow up. Are you sure about that? Little bits of truth need to come out, and more of this truth will be coming out in the age of Aquarius. But the thing is, you need a bombshell of information, which is wild. The truth about some of these celebrities, the truth that makes people uncomfortable, you have to come with facts, evidence, and hard hitting commentary. Meanwhile, the people that lie to you, aka the news and mainstream media, your doctors, your physicians, all these people that benefit off of you being sick and hurt, they tell you something because they're wearing a lab coat and they have a piece of paper that said they attended enough school. That means you automatically trust them. I'm sorry, I didn't need to go to get a physics degree and mastering in my concentration of thermodynamics to tell me that the stove is hot. I don't need a master's or a doctorate degree in psychology to tell you that that person's lying to you. I don't need to be an MBA, have a bachelor's, master's, or a PhD in finance to tell you that these people are being bought off to promote a certain message. So why is it when someone spits some truth to you, you automatically want to disregard them? Because it conflicts with your pre-constructed paradigm of thought that you've been adopting in your mind. That's all this is. You have to be able to see through the distractions. It's the same game over and over. I just posted a picture of a whole bunch of Times Magazine's covers, and every single year there's some new virus that you need to be scared of. And it's always crazy when this stuff always tends to happen when something important is happening with our legislative system, or with our economy. People don't see that David 91 was just a big script, a big part of the script to keep people inside while they start to make some significant changes. 9/11 was an inside job. Ooh, conspiracy theories. But it just so happens that people just put out insurance claims on the buildings a couple of days before it went down, making them billions, if not trillions of dollars. That's just coincidence. Yeah, the twin towers went down, but that third one went down, and no one's talking about that. The Pentagon, they couldn't find one plane part, not a chair, not a wing, nothing, but a plane hit the Pentagon. This is conspiracy talk, but it's just like, fam, go find me a picture of the plane that hit the Pentagon. Why is that so hard to find? You see what I'm saying? They lie to you about everything. They lie to you so much that you almost have Stockholm syndrome because you've been force fed and indoctrinated with the lie for so much. If anything breaks against that paradigm that's been installed in your brain, you don't want to believe it. So anything they tell you is for your benefit. No, it's for their benefit. It's just easier to distract people with one little screen in the living room called your television. Television, as the conscious people like to say. You know, Sometimes we just be sitting here. I'm just sitting here from my watchtower sometimes. And I just be like, yo, wake up, Neo. Wake the fuck up, people. Like they're running the same script on you over and over and over. Oh, you're being conspiracy theorists. Okay, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. Oh, wait, all those things did happen. How'd you know? Because they ran the same script last decade and the decade before that. Those that don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. You know? And I keep on saying, wake up, guys. You're running the same script on you again. This is about to happen. And you just rinse and repeat. You know how Morpheus was walking with Neo when he was first getting introduced to the Matrix, and then he said, "Beware the woman with the red dress," and he just kept looking at her. Then he slowed it down, brought it back again, and said, "Hey, I told you not look at this woman with the red dress." And because he was distracted, the Agent Smith was able to get the jump on him, and bop, that's the end of that simulation, right? Well, it's like the same thing could be said with all the distractions. Look at all the distractions as a nice shiny Mustang, a nice bright and shiny glossy Corvette, Lamborghini, whatever sports car you could think of, whatever the car of your dream is, a nice shiny red car. That's going to draw your eye to it, isn't it? But here's the thing, and this is why they always let you know what they're doing. Because when you look at the shiny car, can't you see a reflection behind you? You see what I'm saying? If you're close enough to it and you got the right angle, you can see some stuff moving around behind you. That's what a distraction is. The distractions that mainstream media, what they put out here is just the shiny car. Now, if you just look at the car as a whole, whoa, this is such a nice car. Oh my goodness. But if you have any sense of awareness or situational or environmental awareness, you're going to be, making sure you're checking your surroundings at all times. If you see a 7'5", 397-pound monster creeping up behind you in the reflection of the car, wouldn't you want to turn your head and look at this beast that's approaching you so you can decide if you want to fight or flight? You know what I'm saying? So why aren't you doing the same thing when it comes to fight or flight with your mind? Does this information make sense? Who benefits from this? Who's getting paid from this? Which rich elite asshole is benefiting from this drama that they're presenting me with? Okay, they brought up something that's very important that everyone is talking about right now. What's going on behind the scenes? There's some deal that's ending between America and Saudi Arabia, somewhere in the Middle East, that says the deal that we struck with them for them to do all of their deals with the oil and petroleum and the petrodollar, that's ending as of June 9th or something like that. But yet we're worried about the diddler. Don't get me wrong, it was his time, and there's a few more. I'm waiting for Oprah, Beyonce, Jay-Z. I'm waiting for all of them to get exposed. But this is a nice little snack before the main course. But once again, oh my God, look at this. Then the rap beef between Kendrick and Drake. Got every black person distracted with that one. Oh man, who's this? Who's this? You do realize it costs you $50 for 2 bags of grapes, a couple of avocados, and some chips, right? That costs you $50 now, right? But you're worried about the Kendrick and Drake beef. Once again, the truth is very appealing to people, especially for people that are waking up from their psychosis of being lied to so much. But there's still always going to be a bit of the population that is still going to stay asleep. They don't want their world to change. You seen what happened with Terrence Howard? Terrence Howard brought up all the goddamn Agent Smiths. The Sentinels are on his ass because he's challenging a well-established way of thinking in our scientific community. If you step out of this box that we gave you, you are a rebel. And back in the days, if you went against the church and you were saying some stuff like that, you would get burnt at the cross and being called a witch. Now they're just starting up witch hunts on social media where they're just bringing up a whole bunch of platforms to defame this man's work when he has patents explaining all of this. He explained it from A to Z, and because 1 times 1 does not, or is it 1 times 1 equals 2? Or the square root to whatever his main analogy is. It's like, because it makes you uncomfortable, you're not going to hear it out. Oh, you're a stupid. 1 times 1 equals 1. Did you not hear how he explained it? You explained to me why you believe your preconceived notion and then challenge that with his. At least he was able to explain it from A to Z. You're just saying just cuz. And that's what happens when you stay into the psychosis, when you give into the psychosis, when you give into the bombarding of a whole bunch of false information. Let me make it people uncomfortable. It's like people always want to fight about Jesus and all this type of stuff. It's like, okay, I don't even want to get too big into that argument. You believe in who you want to believe, but in your own book it says worship not false idols, and then it gives you a description of Jesus. Okay, well, if that's the description of Jesus, why is it that whenever you're confronted with, hey, he doesn't look like the blonde-haired, blue-eyed individual that you have on your wall, right? You do realize there's a description of him right there, and if you're giving credence to a picture, that's a false idol, isn't it? But people want to fight you. But, well, what does it matter about his race? What does it matter? Okay, let's do it like this. Race doesn't matter. Racial identification doesn't matter. That's fine. You don't have to call him black, but he's definitely Middle Eastern. The whole Bible's written in Africa. But let's just give it to you like this. Race and identification don't matter. Okay, so you mean to tell me that my 6'2", 170 soaking wet ass robs your car? You see it. I take a picture with my ID card and my social security card. I literally got caught in 4K, right? But I still flee the scene because I got your car. You can't catch me. A couple days later, the investigators say, we found the guy that stole your car. Please come down to the precinct and identify this individual. So you come on down and you see a whole lineup of 5'3", 125 Asian men. That's what you see. And they said, please identify the suspect that stole your car. You're going to be like, there's no There's no guy here that fits this description. None of these are the guy. I say he's a 6'2" black guy, 170 pounds. You got me a bunch of Asian dudes. Well, close enough, right? It doesn't really matter. This is what he looks like. So just pick from one of them. It won't be right. You are not giving the right energy to the right entity. That's all we're saying here. And the reason why I always try to bring up this argument is not to fight about Jesus and all that type of stuff, because that brings up some of the cult Christians out here. What I'm saying is, when you get into the metaphysics, when you get into the higher understanding of praise and worship and where attention goes, energy goes, some of you are giving your energies to the wrong entity. And I'm just going to leave it at that. These are the truths that make people uncomfortable. When you make people uncomfortable, to be honest, it makes me laugh and giggle inside. I'm a little bit of a cynic because I like challenging people's worldviews. I love exposing the fact that most people just believe what they believe because they've been believing it for a long time, because their mama and their daddy do it, because their grandma does it, because their grandpa does it, because their friends believe it. You see, you following the sheep doesn't make you any different from them. They're following the person that was in front of them, and that person's following the person that was in front of them. Meanwhile, you're way in the back. You're like, so where are we going? I don't know. Just follow everybody else. I see a molten pit of lava. Why are we just walking towards that? Oh, don't question that, man. Come on, just be one of us. One of us. We're doing this together. Nah, I'm good. Oh, what are you, scared? Oh, what are you, this? No, I'm not scared. We're all walking to our deaths. You see? And this is the problem, because, people still worship the church, not realizing the history of what it used to do. Some of the Catholic, the leaders of your Catholic Church are the biggest crooks and thugs out there. The leaders of your United States government, Brazilian government, Iraqi government, the Russian government, everybody's government, Italian government, everybody has crooked people running it. And the thing is, when you question this, like for example, Boeing, right? Boeing has all these whistleblowers that happen to be dying out of nowhere, being found dead, because they're about to expose all the truth about all these messed up planes that we're flying in, trusting our lives in. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you want the truth about that? Oh, because you're scared to get silenced. I said this a long time ago, and I'll say it again. If you think that you have the freedom of speech in today's world, post-awakening world, then you aren't talking about anything important. Go talk about how you got a patent for a water power engine, and best believe your brakes are about to be cut. Go talk some shit about Boeing. See what happens. Start making too much noise about finding cures for cancer and holistic cures for everything. Go listen to stories of Dr. Sebi, Yaki Awaken, what's her name? Barbara O'Neill. All the weird things that start to happen when they gain too much of a following. They let you rock when you're small, because when you're small, no one listens to you. But when you start to gain a following and you start to mess with their bottom line, some weird things about to start happening to you. Hell, and I know this for certain. When I was starting to talk about David 91 stuff, my video got censored, taken off of YouTube. They gave me a warning and stuff. While I was recording that video, the camera started focusing differently, which had never been done. I recorded hundreds of videos before then. But when I start talking about that particular topic, that's when things get weird. When I went back and I was making the YouTube shorts from some of my old videos, I realized the ones that I was talking about, that real shit, got shadow banned to death. And I'm just like, I see how they work now. But once again, people that are just the followers will never see this. When you stand out, what is it, like the Japanese strategy, like the nail that stands the tallest is the first that get hammered in, or something like that. That's why they like everyone looking the same and uniform, and don't stand out and stuff like that, which is fine. That's just culture, But when you stand out, that's when the people that have been, Mr. Worm, get off of me. It's like when people start to speak out against this type of stuff, that's when they get silenced. That's when the Agent Smiths get activated. That's when the smear campaigns come up. And people don't see that. They only see the smear the smear campaign, other than what started the smear campaign in the first place. If you are small, they don't worry about you. But when you're starting to amass people, that's when they want to do something. People don't see this because they're still the lower level of consciousness. No judgment. That's just where you are when you don't see this. We're not conspiracy theorists. We see A equals B equals C. When this happens, the domino that was in front of it falls in front of it. The domino is going to hit the next one, the next one, the next one. So by the time the 100th domino fell, what's the 101st domino going to do? It's just common sense. But you have to break out of the mass psychosis that we've been in. You've been duped since school. You've been duped with your cartoons. You've been subjected to predictive programming. You just have to break out from it. Start listening to people that go against the grain. I'm not saying to automatically agree, because there's controlled opposition as well. You see, once you get into this conscious game, once you start seeing the holes in the fabric of the elites, you start to question things, but then you start to question everything. And that's where we all need to be. Question everything. Become alchemists. When they give you a distraction, look at the reflection in a shiny balloon or a shiny car. You can see a little bit behind you. That's what they're distracting your attention from. Till the next one. Peace.